Okay, guys, so go back. It's the only way to really heal. Like I was saying in my last video, go back. Go back, and the more you go back, and I've done this for years, ever since, let me see. I want to say, well, the first person I told about my abortion was my husband, Ben. And then I had told Mike. So now I look at this with getting Randy out of the way. And it's just like, oh my goodness. I look back at my younger self and I think, Melissa, you went through a lot. So, here I am pregnant and I don't even know it. And I'm dating, I met this guy at Billy's restaurant in Epsom, New Hampshire. So I was done that job. I can't remember if uh I quit. My husband worked there. I can't remember if that's what happened or I was told I couldn't work there anymore because that's where Randy and I had met. I'm not sure. So, August, I'm hanging around with my friends and I'm doing odd jobs. I'm at an insurance company. I'm at the Epsom Circle Market in the gas station. I'm hanging out. We're doing mud races, horse races over by the circle. I'm starting my freshman year in school. Everything is new, right? I've got my friends. I don't even know I'm pregnant. And, like my friend Kurt was like, Melissa, the elevator is on the third floor or whatever he told me. And, so a whole new school, a big school, all your friendships are changing. Everything is totally different, right? Everything's new. So you're signing up for classes, what you're going to do. And I'm thinking to myself today, I'm like, you were pregnant through all this and didn't even know it. And then, the time October comes, I'm thinking about how I was taking an OBGYN in Concord. I believe it was Dr. Black. I remember his gray hair. I remember his gruff mannerism. I'm thinking about the time, like it must have been days before that. I was dragged to Randy's home. I believe it was Catamount Road in Pittsfield. Pittsfield High just had their reunion. Two T's there, not one. They just had their reunion for graduates. Go back on Facebook. Go back and look at stuff. Go back and look at where things happened. Try to get roads down. Try to get your classes down. I was taking Spanish, and this will help you get it down more. I was taking Spanish. I was skipping school, Spanish class with Mrs. Gresham. This is just a rough draft with Mrs. Gresham, and half the time I wasn't in her class, but I passed it. Um, I had, I had been hitchhiking with Mike, skipping school. He had, been spying on me in the winter. There were footprints in the winter at my window of him at my house in the window. The police were called. He broke into my family's home. Try to get all these details down, and the more you do, the better you'll feel. And then the time 88 came, June of 88, I was with my husband. I was always at his house. There was a time I ran over to my friend Chris's house. I don't know what happened. My dad wasn't being nice to me. He had already thrown me by my hair and pulled my hair out by this point. And I ran over to Chris's house. And then I was over my husband's house a lot. I just enjoyed being over their house a lot. So we were swimming a lot. In the time 89 came, I was graduating early. He quit. And then by the time 90 came, we were living together on Monroe Street. And then after Monroe, where he broke up with me, I was on my own on Route 28. I had my own place. My Uncle Bill was like, Melissa, he told me later, did your mom like getting you in trouble? She came over one day on Route 28 and started screaming at me. I don't know what the problem was. Tina had come over, my Aunt Tina, and was asking what was going on. I was right next to Bill and Tina's place on Route 28, and then my husband, my boyfriend at the time, Ben, had moved in with me. He had quit school. We moved in together there, and then we had moved over to Concord. And we were, let me see, where were we in Concord? let me see. My Aunt Kim had a place on North State Street that we were at. So I remember that we didn't like the landlords. They were screaming and swearing. Then we moved over to Princeton Street, and then we moved over to Pennacook. And that's when I had my firstborn son in Pennacook. And that's when I went to church and got saved and was busy with just turning my life around. So get this down. And I've been kind of waiting to get a bigger perspective on this before I finish my book. And I wanted to do more research. And so this is pretty much what you have to do. You have to go through, after I had my kids and I had time, I went through post abortive classes. I saw how it affected my work trauma. Trauma's out of the way. My work is becoming, work situations are becoming a bit easier now to deal with because this is out of the way. But mostly my main job was being a wife and a mother and homeschooling, and that's full time work. And even though I worked a bunch of jobs, even up until we lost our home, I mean, I was at, even in the hotel, I was working at McDonald's and a cleaning place. And um, this has all happened for a reason. It's all for God's glory. I mean, I got saved. I didn't even put the pregnancy center in there when I was pregnant with my firstborn son going to hairdressing school. So later on, when you have the time, get the post abortive classes down, get it all dealt with, and then you will be able to help other women. And you're going to be a lot stronger too to move forward with your life. So this is kind of me wrapping it all up and just going to get, my books going. I'm going to have more than one book. I'm going to have a series of books, and it is now time for me to write. I do feel like I'm a writer at heart. I'm a reader, a writer. This is my ideal job, would be to be a writer. So that's going to take some work for me to do. But I do plan on continue helping women as I volunteer to help them heal from abortion. And I think there's going to be a huge market for women needing help to heal from abortion because it destroys a woman's life. And women need other women in this area too.